Hello and welcome to week two's live discussion for Introduction to Internet Marketing. Today we're going to go over the evolution of websites, which is one of the main concepts that we're discussing this week. And we'll go over some of the business models that are relevant to us. And I'll talk a little bit about the assignment that's due this week and then take any questions that you might have. So for the evolution of websites, certainly you're exploring that using the Wayback Machine, and you'll kind of make your own keen observations over what you've seen going on in terms of how visually and content-wise the websites have changed over time. One thing to keep in mind is that they are more dynamic than ever. I mean, if you think of all the stuff that we're able to do interactive-wise with websites now, whether it's uploading photos, documents, commenting on posts, sharing posts, all these things that as an end user you're able to be involved in the website now versus more the static pages of the past. Also, websites aren't restrictive anymore. It used to be that you had to hire a designer who you knew all these crazy codes and you'd have to pay somebody to manage things for you. And now pretty much anybody can have their own website. You can use Blogger, you can use all kinds of different online tools to help, and you pick up a WordPress template and create your own website, and soon you're uploading and editing content like never before, and it's all your own. There's advanced web tools now. I mean, if you think functional wise, it used to be just a few languages, and now there's so much more that you can do. You can use, Flash to create intros and banners. There's interactive portfolios. There's so much more that you can do in terms of coding languages to make these websites more engaging for visitors than they used to be. And now with the future going towards mobile and then other interfaces, who knows what's next, but you have this whole revolution of the fact that these mobile smartphones now, their interfaces are a lot smaller. So what did that do to web design? I mean, you're going to have a lot less stuff on there, and it has to be a lot more straightforward with the two things that are on the screen, because your screens just aren't that big. So people usually have a mobile version of their website. So who knows what's next with that one and what the next huge design boom is going to be. And then there's just this freedom of experimentation. The fact that it's not print and it's electronic and you can make changes and edit things overnight. You can test all different types of things and experiment, and there's a freedom in that you didn't have with traditional media, and certainly with websites in the past, when it would take a coder however long to do it. Now with the languages, there's so many things that you can switch up and test overnight and make a quick switch of this and that, and then you have a lot more creativity now than you used to have. So what this means is that websites are no longer just static storefronts. They're more dynamic. They have a much higher level of engagement, and with the advancement of SEO and trying to generate traffic to your website, how are you going to get people to go to your website when there's so many people that have websites now? It's not just you competing against 3 other websites anymore. There's a billion of them. So to stand out, you've got to be delivering useful content. And companies have hired teams of people to create thought leadership and white papers and articles that they can post on their website, not necessarily to sell, but just to get people to come to their website. So that has been one of the best things for consumers, is that now that there's all this great content out there, it's not just, a storefront. Some of the business models on that URL that you were looking at this week of the 24 business models, these are the ones that I think are most relevant to us as internet marketers. You have advertisement-based models for content. So those are like display and banner ads for your cost per thousand. So that's whatever cost you agree on with the advertising platform per 1,000 possible exposures. So however many impressions, if you have the opportunity to serve your ad per 1,000, that's how much you're paying. So those are for your display and banner ads, and we're all familiar with those annoying things that we all swear we don't click on and yet still generate a lot of traffic. We have pay-per-click ads for those for your search engines and for affiliates, where you're paying obviously per click. Then you have media ads, which annoy everybody, which are when you're listening to your Pandora streaming and then you get interrupted by those advertisements and you're forced to listen to them before you get to the next song. You have lead generation and affiliate marketing, so you're paying a cost per action or a flat rate commission. perhaps your action is to get them to pre-sell your product on their website, or maybe they're just having them fill out a lead form and then giving you the lead. Whatever that cost per acquisition rate or flat rate commission. And then you have your Groupon model, which I'm sure we're all familiar with. There's a bunch of different companies out there like Living Social and Daily Eats, where the seller gets the volume, which is yay for them. And then the buyer, us, we get the discount, which is awesome for us. And then Groupon gets a commission based on how many are sold. And then with the new advancement, we have, in-app commerce. So if you're playing Angry Birds, maybe you see a banner ad on top where they're trying to sell you an Angry Birds t-shirt. So even advertising and marketing will take over even the smallest interfaces and your most, what you thought, free private moments you're being sold to at some point. Anywhere that there's a possibility for a revenue stream, we'll create one. This week's assignment, on top of doing your discussion board posting and your reply post, and then your quiz based on both readings, is to learn more about Google Analytics, because Google Analytics is pretty much the #1 online tool for tracking the success of several different media channels. Which media channel is bringing in what kind of traffic for your website. You ideally want to track these things so that you're only keeping media channels alive and spending money on paid media that's bringing in the right kind of traffic to your site. And that once they get there, what are they doing? Are they staying on a page? Are they bouncing off? Are they which pages do they visit the most? And all of the insight that kind of gives you to figure out what site improvements you need to make or what media channels you need to add or omit. So just learn a little bit this week about what Google Analytics is if you're not familiar, and you could do that by watching that intro video and then reading the Puma case study. I know Google Analytics has about 1 billion different case studies on their website, but this is the one that I would like you to read, is the Puma. It's only a couple pages. And then you're going to submit a Word document through the activity itself. And on that Word document, which is not supposed to be like a dissertation, it should really only be about a page, and answer these questions. What, in your opinion, what's the benefit of using Google Analytics to track consumer behavior? And what happens if someone blocks or deletes their cookies? These questions are answered through the video that you're watching as well as the case study. Why should you focus on trends instead of individual snippets of data? And what was the company looking for what were they trying to accomplish with site design and utilization of this service? And what were their results? And hopefully this will give you a little bit better of an understanding of how companies actually use this type of information, these type of insights to make big business decisions. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. This is my information. If you can't reach me during office hours, then you can certainly send me an email, and I do try to reply almost as quickly as possible. And we can set up a time to discuss things by phone if you're more of that type of learner that you would like to just talk things through with me, then we can do that too. We can set up a time outside of normal office hours if that works best for you. That's my Google Voice number on top. And with grading, to not due, your homework isn't due until tonight. So you'll get your grades back from week 1 by, I think, Friday. So if you have any questions in the meantime, please feel free to contact me. Otherwise, have a great night.